Hi, everyone. A very good afternoon to everyone who's taken the time to join us for the webinar today. I welcome you all to the session on optimizing your sleep cycle. Today we have Ms. Shalini Gamre, who's going to explain to us the importance of a good sleep cycle. First of all, we need to understand why it's important and how it can impact our health. We'll also understand a little bit more about what steps we can do, either in reducing habits that hinder good sleep, or including habits that promote good sleep. Right. So we're going to talk about both of these areas, and then we'll open up our chat box, of course, for a Q&A. So you can ask any personal questions that you may have with regards to sleep and sleep health. A little bit about Ms. Shalini before we begin. A very warm welcome to you, Ms. Shalini. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us and sharing your insights and learnings about sleep and sleep health. A little bit about her. She is a certified psychological counselor, a corporate coach, an accomplished author based in Mumbai. She has over 25 years of professional experience, which includes 7 years as an entrepreneur. She is the founder of Sasha Training Solutions. She has facilitated various corporate workshops, psychological counseling sessions, and executive coaching sessions for clients in India as well as outside of the country, delivering transformative results for everyone that she's worked with. Ms. Shalini also collaborates with organizations as an external resource for employee evaluations and engagement strategies. Her training methodology is a mix of 80% activities and 20% discussions, which is highly interactive and impactful. And we're hoping for such a session today as well. She has some fun things planned for us, incorporating practical psychological insights that participants can easily implement. She's known for her humor and approachable style. Her sessions are engaging, memorable, and suited for individuals across all professional levels. She's an author of 3 fiction books. Shalini blends creativity and expertise, making her a trusted name in psychological counseling as well as corporate coaching. A little bit about her educational qualifications. She holds a master's in psychology in collaboration with Cognitive Institutes of Interdisciplinary Studies in India, and she's a certified counseling psychologist from Institute of Counseling Studies, India. A very warm welcome to you again, Ms. Shalini. Thank you so much for joining us today, and the stage is over to you.
Thank you so much for that warm introduction, and welcome to all of you who have joined this session. It's a nice time where we're anyways feeling very sleepy. So, and we're going to be discussing a topic that is so relevant on what we feel right now. Before we start, I want to show a video to you, because whatever I say today, you might have already known of, you have already heard of, but we take this subject so lightly that I want to show this video to you, that it's ultimately your choice on how you take this information that I'm going to put out to you today. Can you see my video?
Yes, ma'am. Your screen's visible.
All right. Now, you may or may not be able to hear the music that plays, but that's not important. The video is more important. Take a look at this.
The video is dropped off. Yeah. Okay. Visible again.
this is just to showcase that small habit changes that you will make today can go a long way tomorrow. Okay, and your life does not belong to just you, it belongs to all the people who depend on you. So I'm going to share my screen now and take you through sleep as one of the most important um, criterias for better health. Can you see my presentation?
Not yet. Yes, we can.
Now
Thank
you
you.
can. Okay, so our topic for today is sleep. But before we dive into sleep, let me take you through why exactly this is so important. While we know that sleep is extremely important, we don't really take it so we take it very lightly with because we are all aspiring to be in some place. All of your habits that you carry today, you must know that 15% of your current habits are going to determine 60% of your future life. Whatever you do today is a good stock to take so that you can see what tomorrow is going to be like. So if you're not having good sleep, if you're spending too much time with stress and pressure, you will know what kind of tomorrow is going to come. Let me take you through what happens in the body on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so these are our body is driven by certain chemicals which we call hormone, and these and to generate these there are different organs across the body that help our body with these chemicals. Now, human body requires one chemical, that is cortisol, which is extremely important for stress management. We call it the stress hormone. And this cortisol is very smart. It knows that in a day to day basis you definitely live such an aggressive life that you are going to be a little bit stressed. You will be stressed when you have to reach somewhere on time. You will get stressed. Your body will naturally get stressed when you are hungry. You will also feel stressed when you have worked really hard and you're really tired for the day. And small things, like maybe if you're not smelling good or you're not looking good or your hair is not good for the day, there will be a little bit of thought and stress that will come about. And to manage this, cortisol is there. It's ready to make sure that you don't pass out and die. You don't faint. It'll make sure that it activates the defense mechanism that can protect you from these anxious moments. But the problem happens when stress levels increase to a level where cortisol is shocked. It is unable to manage your the level of stress that you're living with, and that leads to all of this very fancy words which we have lately seen have become so popular. There must be just about 27 to 30% people who don't have any of these, and that too they must be in an age group. Otherwise, after the age of 45, 47, everybody is complaining of something in this line of illnesses. Okay, so much so that they have now become biological illnesses. I'd like to take you through the magnitude of what stress can do to you. There is this one winter which was called the Hunger Winter during the World War II. Okay, this is when the Germans had completely captured Netherlands and they had completely destroyed all paths of food for them. They were going to keep them hungry. There was a famine that struck. Not just that, the winters were really harsh during that period. Now, all the waterways, canals were all frozen or blocked by the enemy. There was no electricity, no gas. This is here is where people had experienced the stress caused by hunger. It was so bad that people's food intake reduced to one meal to just about 1,000 calories. 1,000 calories is what you do during a snack time. Like during tea break, if you have a sandwich or you have a few biscuits, that's where you have consumed around 1,000 calories. Depends on what you're eating. Your lunch by itself will be about 1,500 calories that you're consuming. Okay, from there it reduced to 500 calories. From there it literally reduced to them eating flowers, the tulip bulbs. They were hungry. Okay, there is this very popular picture where mothers would give their children a spoon and they would give this as an indication: wherever you find food, just eat. It's a very popular picture that comes up when you do a research on stress during World War II. Now, 20,000 Dutch people had died during this hunger famine until Operation Mana came into existence, and then the Allied forces had taken over and dropped food from helicopters to the people down. Okay, there is this psychologist that did a little research to try to understand what was the impact of this hunger stress that was created, the stress caused due to hunger. In her research, she found that the children that were born during that period suffered cardiovascular diseases throughout their life. They were also obese throughout their life. They had a risk of blood pressure throughout their life. There were high rates of hospitalization, and because of this lack of good health, they also were not able to take competitive jobs or be really productive at their work. Which means stress does not only have an impact on your body, it also has an impact on your professional growth. Okay, so what do we do? She also discovered, by the way, that this continued for 60 years, not just that particular generation. It just moved from one generation to the other. That's the reason why today diabetes or cholesterol, bad bowel movements, all of this is looked at from mom and dad had it, then kids also will have it. It's just considered as biologically transferred diseases when it is completely reversible as well. I have worked with people who I know had diabetes, and they really brought alignment to their lifestyle, and they reversed everything. Okay, they reversed diabetes, cholesterol, even blood pressure. They can be reversed, but it requires you to take heed of all of these things that are scaring the brain. Okay, now you can make changes in your food habits, you can make changes in your workouts, which is very difficult to do and stay consistent. It's not only to work out on one day, important to work out on a daily basis. You can do this as well to improve your lifestyle. But sleep happens to be one of the elements that is extremely important as well. Okay, so sleep happens to be this element that is ignored, sometimes taken for granted. You feel like, today I didn't sleep properly, no problem, I will catch up on the weekend. So today I'm going to be sharing with you certain things about sleep. Now, I'm not a superstar, and I don't sleep all nights to the best. But whatever I'm sharing with you is something that I've studied, I've learned, I have experienced, I have made these changes in my own personal life, and I've experienced a better quality of sleep. I have shared this information with others, seen what is the reaction. I have taken resource material from others. I have taken their study, which they have done, and I have incorporated this into a PPT, and I'm presenting it to you. From this entire PPT, if there's anything that you disagree with or you don't like that I spoke about, please just drop it here. Take whatever works for you and run with it. Okay, if you feel that some of the information here is different than what you must have heard somewhere else, please let me tell you. Analyzing and studying sleep habits is a study in progress. Okay, every year is a different year. Different researchers come up with different theories. It's like the study of psychology. Human behavior cannot be stereotyped. The behavior changes with age, with exposure, with experiences, and so does the elements of study in relation to sleep or any other human habits. So even though they might be different, they also might be right in some way. I also might be right in some way. You take whatever works for you. Now, sleep happens to be a very strange thing. Okay, we literally sleep for 1/3 of our life, and that 1/3 of our life impacts the balance 2/3 of whatever we do in our life. It is so strange, and you will be surprised as to how much impact this small portion of our life has in the overall outcome of our life. Okay, now what is the importance of sleep? Why is it so important to sleep well? Okay, it is important to sleep well. For one, because it is important. Sleep is a mechanism which helps with mental restoration. Okay, there is a system that gets activated when you sleep, which is called the waste detox system, or the glymphatic system, where there is a restoration that starts happening. It's like the brain cells, it reduces and starts throwing out all waste that it does not need. And this does not happen when you don't sleep well. And when you don't sleep well and there is this detox that is not being cleaned, you unnecessarily face issues of confusion, memory loss, anxiety, and all kinds of things that are related to mental health. So this detox is extremely important and it happens only when you sleep well. The second is it rearranges our short term and long term memory. There might be some things I did today which I might remember tomorrow, but because they're not very important, it may go on to my long term memory. I may not remember it at all. Or when I interact and I come across this something that happened today, I might remember, hey, this happened before as well. Let me think. And then I go back to my long term memory and I pull out information from there. So it depends on how much storage is there in your short term memory where you can remember things faster, or it goes into your long term memory where those memories are occasionally accessed. If you have not watched the movie Inside Out, please watch it. It's such a fantastic movie and so well made. And watch both Inside Out 1 and 2. Although it's an animation movie and made for kids, the theme and the way the movie is made is so beautiful that you will literally see what happens inside our brain. And there is no better way Indian movie has demonstrated it than any other speaker can tell you. So watch the movie Inside Out 1 and 2. In that, they will show you how there is long-term memories that gets accessed by the protagonist when she is in certain stress conditions, or she really requires that information. She goes to her long-term memory bank and she tries to retrieve those memories. So your brain works in a way where the capacity to hold information in short term improves, or the capacity to retain that information for a longer time improves, or memories are completely forgotten and gone into a dump. It really depends on how you sleep. Okay. There is also metabolic restoration which happens during sleep. You've already heard this before. The body starts repairing itself as you sleep. Okay, the body breaks down carbohydrates first, because when you're sleeping, the body is working. And because it's working, it requires energy. To get that energy, it first breaks down carbohydrates, just as it would break down carbohydrates when you were working out. When you're working out as well, first the carbs are broken down. That's why you will see athletes, runners, they will make sure to eat some carbs before they go out for a long drawn marathon, or they're going to have a they need the energy for a very intense sport activity, because carbohydrates is a source of energy. Now the problem is when you don't use this energy, that same carbohydrates gets converted into sugar and fats and gets stored in your body. Now this stored energy that is there, this carbohydrates is also used during your sleep for the activities of the body. First, it will break down carbohydrates, then it will go to break down fats, and finally start breaking down proteins. Depends on how much work is there to do on your body. Now, if you don't sleep well, it stops at the carbohydrates breaking down, and it does not go to the level of breaking down fats because you haven't slept that long, or you haven't given it that much time to use all the available resources, and that fat just gets stored. It doesn't get utilized, and hence it is important to have a good nice period of sleep so that the body utilizes everything that is needed to convert into energy. Okay, so how much should you sleep? What is the right number? This is a study that was done in the University of Pennsylvania, where they took 48 healthy men and women and divided them into four groups. The first group had no sleep given to them for 3 days. They had to stay awake for 3 days. The second group were allowed to sleep only for 4 hours. The third group was allowed to sleep for 2 more hours, 6 hours, and the fifth group was allowed to sleep for 8 good hours. Okay, and this is what the level of productivity changed to. The people who did not sleep for 3 days showed really low levels of productivity, dozing all through the day and eventually hallucinating and having a lot more health issues because of the lack of sleep. The second group had shown lower levels of productivity, being very drowsy and very tired all through that. There was not a lot of difference between the 4 and 6 hours category, where they also found lethargy. They started putting on a lot of weight. This particular exercise was done for 14 days. Okay. Um, they were showing a lot of traits of tiredness, very lethargy. They started putting on weight, and the 8 hours basically they showed highest level of productivity. So it doesn't make a difference whether you sleep for 4 hours or 6 hours. If it's not a good 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, that sleep is basically incomplete. Okay, so and one more thing is that the 4 and 6 hour category, although their productivity was low, they insisted that they were very productive, which means they were not even able to judge their own productivity. Okay, there was a delusional judgment in the way they were functioning as compared to the ones who were sleeping well and showing off results. So this was a study done. This is how our body functions. We require sleep, nutrition, and recovery so that the body has enough to give away. Okay, where you're giving away your schoolwork, trainings, work, where you have to stay on field doing the work. Now, if you don't infuse that bucket with enough of sleep, nutrition, and different other therapies that are needed for the recovery of your body, you're going to dry up your entire body. Okay, and you're not going to be able to see that drying up happens every day, but eventually over a period of years you will see how you have completely dried off your body of its energy and resource. Now, if you think that yes, I know I have to sleep for 8 hours minimum, but on the weekdays I don't get it. So what I'll do on Saturday, Sunday when I have a holiday, I will catch up with sleep then. And on Saturday, Sunday, you end up sleeping till around 11, 11:30, 12. If you think you can catch up with sleep like that, no, it does not happen. Body functions does not change. If you're what the body does from Monday to Friday, that is the same thing the body will do on Saturday and Sunday as well. You can sleep for 2 3 hours more. You will still wake up tired and drained, is because you cannot catch up with sleep. Now, I'm not saying you should not catch up with sleep. Yes, you should catch up with sleep if you get the time and you really are sleep deprived in the weekdays. But if you think it's going to improve the quality of your health or improve the quality of your productivity, no. Here is where you require it to be consistent on a daily basis. Okay, so 8 to 12 hours of sleep is very, very good. If you're an athlete, like I read somewhere the Roger Federer, and there are some athletes that sleep for at least 11 to 12 hours a day because they require that much of inflow into their system to give an outflow for their really intense athletic activities. If you have a desk job and you are not so intense in your activities, minimum 8 hours is very good. And now please don't tell me that 8 hours is not possible. She might have given you my introduction. I think, I don't know whether you heard it or whether she said it, but I have 16 years of corporate experience before I started out as an entrepreneur. And let me tell you, 16 hours of corporate, I had fixed timings. Yes, there would be an overlap of 3 or 4 hours here and there over those timings. But as an entrepreneur, I work 24/7, Saturdays, Sundays included. And anything can come anytime, and you've got to say yes and you've got to run with it, because you are now not running as a brand that's taking care of you, you're running for your own brand. Okay, so I work a lot more, entrepreneurs work a lot more than people who are employed. So I'm saying if I can work on my time management skills and I can make that much of time to get good 7 to 8 hours of sleep, you also can do it. Everyone can do it. It's just a matter of improving on your time management and sleep pre and post habits. Okay, let's understand the science of sleep a little bit. We function, our sleep cycle functions, it's called a sleep wake cycle. Okay, we go through different transitions while we are sleeping. And why is this important? Is just the more you understand sleep, the more you will understand if you are sleeping well, or can you improve certain habits before and after sleep so that you can get better sleep. Okay, so what is better sleep? We sleep in if I had to summarize, there are 4 levels, but I'll summarize it in 2 levels. One is the slow wave sleep, in which you sleep really deep. Okay, very, very deep. You're almost dead in that sleep. Here is where the breathing regularizes. You're breathing very, very slowly. Okay, there is a drop in body pressure. It is lower than the normal pressure of the body as well. There's a considerable drop in the pressure. There is lower brain activities, which means there is no response. If anything happens around, you don't know it. Is because you've gone really deep into the level of sleep. You release the growth hormones, which help tissue and muscle growth during this time. Okay, this is where the growth starts, the work of the body starts happening. Here is where immunity system starts building itself as well. Okay, this is a deep sleep. Now you must have experienced this particular phase of sleep where you went so deep into it that when you woke up you don't remember anything of when you slept, what time you woke up, what happened around you. You really went really deep into that. That is your slow wave sleep. The next is your REM stage, the rapid movement stage. Okay, this happens at least through 2 to 5 times in the night. For some people, just twice. For some people, 5 times, and some people do sleep only in the slow wave method. Very rarely seeing dreams. It's not abnormal, but sleeping both slow wave as well as REM is more healthy. Now here in the REM mode of sleep, the body pressure increases. Here is when you're sleeping, but your brain is fully active, fully alive. Okay, blood pressure increases, heartbeats increase, dreams are seen. You can literally see people running. You can see colors. You can literally see things happening. Here is where memory is reorganizing itself. Okay, your brain is connecting or clearing memory. It's connecting memory with experience and reorganizing it. Most of the experience taken for the last 24 to 48 hours. That is how far it accesses your experiences, and it starts correlating it with memories. Okay. And this is something that dream analysis is also based on, where after you, if you've had repeated dreams that are talking to you about something where you feel like you're falling most of the time, or in a dream you're being chased or you're chasing, or in a dream you find yourself in a dark hole sometimes, or in a dream you're just laughing and it's like really bright. Each of these dreams, if they occur many times, that's when it's the body's way of telling you something about yourself. Maybe you have to work on your communication skills. Maybe you have to work on your mode of mental toughness. Maybe there's a person that is really creating a lot of hurdles in your life. Maybe there's a relationship not working out, or maybe there's a relationship that's really nice and protective. It really depends on what exactly is manifesting in them, and that is only if you see the same kind of dreams again and again. It also correlates long lost experiences with what happened in today or tomorrow. Okay, this is where all the organization of memory happens. It connects memory with experience, and here is also where learnings and neural growth happens. Okay, you're learning different new things during this entire transition from here to there. Some people wake up with brilliant ideas after they have seen a dream or after they have slept in this particular mode. And some people who stay in this mode for more than 5 times in the night, their brain is more active, less in the deep sleep mode, and so as they get up they realize that they're too tired. And this generally happens if you're sleeping in this mode most of the time. It is because the activities of your day are really very, very vibrant activities you're doing in good or bad ways. There's just too much happening in life, and that is exactly so. There's too many experiences and too many memories that the brain has to work on. For those who sleep in slow wave mode for many days, and very rarely do they experience dreams, any of this, maybe it's time to infuse certain experiences, certain adventure in your life, so that the brain has enough of experiences to connect with memories. Okay, here is where memories and experiences is the important bit. Now there are certain things that happen if you don't sleep well. We all know it. Viral infections are pretty high. weight gain happens, diabetes, because your body is not breaking down carbs. Okay, there's insulin deficiency which starts happening here, high blood pressure, heart diseases, mental illness, ultimate death is also seen because the person begins to feel a lot more stressed, a lot more pressured than what it could really be. The reality becomes delusional, and the person begins to take the load of things that are not really loaded. So there is one more thing that happens with age. So if you're above 45, 50 years of age and you're really not falling asleep too fast, or you sleep very less, it happens with age as well, that your body begins to sleep less. Okay, so this is an average which I got while doing my research. This is more or less some numbers that should make some sense, but I believe that every age needs to work on their sleep habits. You cannot blame bad sleep on age and not on bad sleeping habits. Okay, first you blame your bad sleeping habits and then you blame your age. Okay, now common sleep disorders, this is just for your information. You may hear these words again and again, hence I thought I should speak to you about this. First is sleep apnea. It's a pattern, or I won't call it a disorder, but it is an activity which happens due to breathing. You tend to breathe fast and then very slow, or stop breathing in the middle. So it's a breath work that becomes an issue, because of which you wake up all the time. Okay, you will see some people will not snore for a long period of time, then suddenly they snore, and then again they will not snore and suddenly they snore. Okay, this is where there is a issue with the breathing. Okay, this is called sleep apnea. Then there is sleep paralysis, where the transition from slow wave to REM, okay, from the cycles of sleep happens to create a little bit of a feeling of feeling paralyzed. Okay, you want to wake up, you want to turn, but you're not able to turn. You suddenly feel stuck. Okay, here is the feeling of anxiety, phobia, fear. Okay, I saw something. Okay, these are the kind of things that happen. These people, they wake up and they feel like there's something happening, but nothing is really happening, and they go back to sleep. This is a disorder where people feel paralyzed while they are sleeping, and they begin to feel like they are stuck. Someone's holding their hands, legs, or they've seen something, but and then they fall back asleep. So this is sleep paralysis. And then something that everyone faces in small and big quantities. Insomnia is a very, very medical term. Please don't use it loosely. Just because we feel tired, we say the word, I'm so stressed. We use it so loosely. The day we have a lot of work, we tell our family members, listen, don't stress me out. We use the term stressed so loosely, when stress actually is an extreme condition of not being able to handle what is happening on a day-to-day basis. Okay, like that, insomnia is a condition where you literally cannot sleep, but people use it very loosely. So I have used it loosely over here as well, where you find it difficult to fall asleep, stay asleep. You wake up continuously during the nights, and you are more worried about why I'm not sleeping than you are about how can I improve my sleep. I have seen people tell me, sometimes my friends, who will say, I tried to sleep yesterday, but I'm not getting sleep. I'm so stressed. They are stressed about not getting sleep. Okay, which means they are stressed about being stressed. So I would say the first point of contact is your sleeping habits and your habits during the day, your lifestyle basically. When you pay attention to your lifestyle and your sleeping habits, your body automatically follows a particular routine that you set it on. The body is already set on a routine that you're giving it. Now, you may give yourself the excuse that my body is not listening to me, but your body is actually listening to you, and it's just fallen into a pattern. So, how do you sleep better? Now, here are the things I'm going to tell you, which you already know. But like I said, it's a choice, and I have chosen to take note of certain things and implement it in my family. And I have seen that everybody in my family is able to get better sleep, have a better health. I have different age groups in my family, so everyone has now set into a particular routine that really works for us. Okay, so to really set out a good sleeping pattern or routine, you need to understand if you want to just sleep or you want to sleep in both modes nicely. You want to manage the quality and intensity of sleep. You want to manage the time of sleep, like how much you sleep. You want to you want to manage when you sleep and when you wake up. What is it that you want to manage? Some people are pretty keen on managing how much they sleep, only duration only. So if they are lying in bed for 8 hours, they feel that is good sleep, but it may not be. You have not managed the quality of sleep. And any habit changes that you make are supposed to take into consideration quantity as well as quality. Okay, the first thing is to manage a power downtime, a fixed power downtime. What's the meaning of that? Now, a very about 2 years back, I changed the lightings of the house and I put both kinds of lightings, white and the dim lights. Is because I realized that the tube light or the loud LED lights are lights which don't dim out. They're not creating an ambience that we are shutting down for the day. So people continue till 10, 10:30, 11, 11:30. So in order to create the atmosphere of a power downtime, we installed, and it's not very expensive, we installed some dim lights. After around 10 o'clock, all the white lights are off and all the dim lights come on, so that everybody in the house is now getting ready to, okay, so the lights have now started tuning down. We need to start tuning down our activities as well. So if someone's watching TV, they start wrapping up and understanding, okay, I need to switch off after this episode is over. If someone's in the kitchen not eaten food, they start pacing up quickly and finishing off whatever is the work in the kitchen. Everyone starts tuning down. So you must have a fixed tune down time. In my house, it is 10 o'clock. By the time we finish tuning down and we are in bed is 11. Okay, so sharp at 11, all of us are in our beds. Your tuning down time could be 9, 8, or 11, 12. You decide, but please don't make it the next day. I tune down at 1 a.m. in the morning. That's not your tune down time for the day. That's your tune down time for the next day. You literally start your next day by going to sleep when you should be starting your next day waking up. Okay, so tune down time is for that particular day. So keep it always before 12. Fixed tune down time, and make sure everybody in the house is slow and steady following that. It will take you a good 3 months to get everybody into alignment, but it only happens when you persistently keep to it for 3 months at least. Then understand, what does your mobile phone and laptop do to your pituitary gland, which is important gland that secretes the hormone melatonin. Most of your sleep medications that doctor will prescribe to you, if you go to him and say, I haven't slept for a week and I'm feeling like I have a disorder, doctor will prescribe to you a medication that has melatonin in it, because this is the hormone that we call the sleep hormone. Now, melatonin is very smart. Okay, the pituitary gland is very smart, and it's built in that particular way where if you receive sunlight, it knows that it's not supposed to release melatonin, and it's work time. We have to work. Okay, that's why the lights are on, and we work during that time. Now, in the night when the sun goes down and it's dark, melatonin understands, or the pituitary gland understands that, okay, this is tuned down time. Now I need to release the melatonin hormone for the sleep to start coming in. But when the sun goes down, the lights come out, the LED lights, the laptop lights, the mobile phone lights, okay? And all of these lights have the absolute same impact on your pituitary gland as does the sunlight. Now your brain is confused. Should I release melatonin or should I wait? What is this person trying to tell me? And it then reduces the release of melatonin because it assumes you need more time to finish your work. And slow and steady, the imbalance of melatonin causes you to stay awake for a longer period of time. And you say that I don't get sleep even though I tune down, I keep the mobile phone away. You will have to give it some time to get back to the timing that you have changed. And it doesn't just quickly happen in a day's time. Your body has its own time to adjust to a new routine, as do you too. When you switch a job, from one to the other, you are put on a 3 to 6 months probation period, because that's your gestation period to absorb the culture of the organization, make friends, try and understand how work happens, get good at your position. It's a period given to you to understand and settle down. Similarly, your body also has to be given some time to get used to what you're training it and then settle down in it. Okay, so don't use your mobile phone as a sun stimulus, okay, to operate just the way the sun does. When I say tune down time, I'm saying tune down of lights, gadgets, everything. Start wrapping up all mobile phone conversations. If you're having any, start wrapping them up, start telling people that I'll talk to you about this tomorrow, and start tuning it out, start phasing out. Okay, so that's important. So the sunlight and your mobile phone light, get at least 30 minutes of sunlight in the day. We have a culture of working from AC offices or from inside the house. So it's nice to go out and allow the sun to touch your skin for at least 30 to 40 minutes. There is a lot said about the environment, and I'm not telling you to stand in the sun for 3 days or one whole day. I'm telling you to simply go out and spend some time in the sun for 30 minutes. Okay, so that, because sunlight is extremely important for your entire sleep cycle to take. That is where energy is lost, that is when bones get strong, that is also important. Sun has its own elements, that is important. So stay out, tire your body a little, sweat a little, okay, make your body a little bit used to outside sunlight as well as inside AC, so that the body has a good balance of both. Keep away smoking, coffee, alcohol, and heavy meals in the night. I spoke to one of my nutritionist friend. I love to work out on a daily basis. Okay, that is the secret to all of my energy throughout the day. If you ask anybody, they will tell you how I'm on my feet right from morning 6 till around 10 o'clock in the night. You tell me to do anything, I'm like up and I'm running to do it. Is because there is a tune down time. I've understood these concepts that I'm teaching you already. And second is a diet that has been also taken into consideration. So when you eat heavy meals or consume alcohol, your liver, stomach, all the organs responsible for digestion now are focused on breaking down your food and have to now wait to repair themselves. Okay, it's like a machine that needs to be switched off a little bit so that it gets some rest, and you just keep on feeding raw material into the machine, constantly keep using it until it breaks down, and then you have to spend money and time and get that repaired or buy a new one. Similar to the body, when you don't allow it to repair itself, but I'm going to sleep, but I've just consumed a burger and I've had 2 beers, you have work to do. You give your body work to do. Now your body, instead of repairing itself, is now focused on digesting the food that you have just pumped in. So one of my nutritionist friend told me, keep your night meals relaxed, a little bit light. Soup, salads, simple dal sabzi is more than enough. Keep the carbs low, keep the sugar low, keep the sugar out, throw it out. Okay, keep it low. Consume no alcohol during the night, or even if you're consuming, consume it very little so that you have paid attention to your body. See, I consider this to be an element of self-love. Okay, I feel like if you don't respect your body and you expect that everyone else of all generations should give you respect because of your knowledge and experience, it does not work like that. It does not work like that at all. It is only when you start respecting your body is when outsiders are able to see that in the way your personality grooms itself, in the way your health is, in the way your disciplines, consistency, and principles start working on you, that they start respecting you for your experience and everything else. So and I am telling you this from my own personal experience. So I consider keeping these things away a quotient of self love. Okay, and lastly, of course, there are many other things you can do to sleep better, but lastly, make sure that you have a bedroom which is used for stuff done on the bed. Okay, instead of using it for work and instead of using it for of using it for different other things. It's nice to have a nice ambience within the bedroom that makes you feel sleepy or cozy and comfortable when you enter that room. Like when you enter the kitchen, you know that this is where food is prepared, so you will keep some level of hygiene. Okay, there will be masalas there, you will find some things there in the kitchen that is related to work done in the kitchen. When you walk into the hall, you will find things that make the hall an environment where you can sit and discuss. A sofa is placed, TV will be there. There will be an ambience that is created where it calls for friends to sit down and discuss things, watch things, talk about stuff. Similarly, the bedroom has to have an environment where when you enter there, you feel like you feel calm, you feel peaceful, you feel relaxed. So the air conditioning has to be right just before you sleep. If you have to continuously get up in the night and switch on, switch off the AC, do all that tantrums, it's just going to disturb your sleep. Consume 2 liters of water through the day, but keep a gap of half an hour, 45 minutes before you go to sleep. And don't consume too much of water just before you go to sleep, so that you wake up less. Okay, so these are some things I thought I could share with you. If none of it works and you're really suffering or having a tough time with your sleep patterns, it is nice to talk to a professional about it. Okay, you can speak to your family doctor about it and he will refer you to a good professional. Maybe there is something really disturbing happening in life, okay, that transpires into your sleep and just keeps waking you up. Maybe you're not able to get sleep because of something happening in life. Maybe there is something that needs to be solved other than just taking care of your pre and post sleep habits. When we talk about post sleep habits, it's about waking up on time and having a fixed routine that you follow after you have woken. If you wake up and your routine is first to check all your emails, go through all your Instagram posts, that's a really poor routine to have. So waking up also means that you have a fixed routine. I wake up and I take a shower at least 15 minutes. That helps me relax, calm down, and get my mind aligned for what needs to be done next. Okay, so you have your fixed routines that the body starts following that cycle, and also then it impacts your sleep pattern. None of it helps. Talk to a professional. Try and understand what you're going through is normal, or do you need to do something more about it. Now, on this note, I have shared with you the information that I have. Now, I would be happy if you could use your chat group and ask any question that you feel will help. I mean, I could give you my inputs on it to the best of my abilities, of course. Any questions that you may have, just put it in the chat group, and I will check it out from here. Um, can you give me access to the chat group? Any questions you have, just simply put it down there.
Yes. Hi. Thank
Hi.
you so much. Hi. Thank you so much for taking, the time to walk us through and help us understand the different aspects of sleep and the considerations we need to have to ensure we are getting the right amount of sleep and building the right habits around it. Um, to start off with, I'll read out the questions that have come in the chat box.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the first question is, I can sleep only 6 to 7 hours and less on certain days. I get up early in the morning, like 6 or so, do light exercise like swimming or a walk, spend whole morning with family, 2 children who are 8 and 3 years of age, start my duties in afternoon till 10:30, 11 p.m. Weekend is lazy and mostly do usual tasks of household, screen time, and others. I want to increase my sleep time. Can you suggest something?
You are already sleeping on an average pretty well. Increasing your sleep time would clearly mean you wrapping up earlier in the evening or starting off later in the day. Or you taking a nap in between in the afternoon. There are a lot of logics to this. And some people say, oh, sleeping in the afternoon would mean that you will not get sleep in the night. That is not true. A little nap, half an hour, 45 minutes nap in the afternoon always helps you to have more power and energy in the latter half of the day. But not more than half an hour, 45 minutes, of course, then you are eating up into already existing good sleep cycles. So you're already sleeping on an average pretty well. So don't worry about it too much. Just continue with this routine that you have.
All right. Thank you so much. The next question is, does it mean nighttime sleep only or any time in day? I think this is to do with completing the REM cycles, getting your 7 to 8 hours.
Anytime during the day is not a good idea. Sometimes a lot of us will consume our breakfast and then we feel really sleepy. We just filled our stomach with a lot of food and then we lie down and we'll take a nap. No, 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 that doesn't work. Okay, there are timings to sleep. Generally, societal norms where you sleep during the night, which is the best, and a short break in the afternoon, which is the best. Mid in the afternoon, if you feel sleepy at 6, you will sleep or off. No, no, no. If it's not something you're doing on a daily basis, then just don't start anything new like that. Fixed timings of sleep works better.
All right. The next question is, how can sleep help our productivity or creativity?
So I just presented you with an experiment that showed that the when you get good hours of sleep, it automatically impacts your productivity. You feel less tired, your thoughts are more clear, you are not indecisive too much. Your body is fully prepared for the task that you're going to hand it over. So it is an automated process. You don't have to say, oh, I've slept well, so is my productivity, let me now track. You will see it will automatically happen.
All right. The next question is, sometimes I feel that I'm falling in a valley. What does it mean? I think.
Sometimes or most times you will have to check it up. Whoever's question is this, you will have to check
Mhm.
it up. I'm not a sleep analysis expert, but with a little bit of what I know about the subject, anywhere you're falling from, it clearly means there's a fear of rejection. There could be a fear of being left behind, a FOMO effect, the fear of losing someone or something. That's the reason why you feel like you're falling from somewhere. It's not stable ground you're on. So it's nice to check what are those elements in life that is bringing in any kind of fear or anxiety. Is there something you can do about it yourself? If not, can you take help? And then you can check whether this fear can be converted into confidence, resilience, and then does that impact your sleep? You'll have to work on it backwards.
Great. The next question is, my friend runs and shouts while sleeping. What could be the reason and how to get rid of it?
Yes, my daughter used to do that as well. She would not run and shout, but she would get up in the night and she would go and sit in some corner of the room. And I would have to wake up and just see where she is. She used to do this when she was very small. And I used to get up and I used to try to find where she is. And I used to close the door and sleep so that she doesn't go out. It happened for a very short period of time. I think just about a few months when she was about 7 or 8 years old, but it happened because she was going through some kind of stress, which I later came to know in school, which was related to anxiety, which was related to a little external circumstances which I had to work with and I had to monitor. I worked with her, one of my psychologist friend. He suggested sleep whispering, wherein just as she has gone to sleep and she's just going into a deeper level of sleep, I will whisper into her ears and I will say, you are super confident, you're really good, your mom and dad loves you, you are an achiever, you have lots of friends, and people love you, everyone is super proud of you. And I used to whisper it. Sometimes she used to give me a small smile, like a small baby in their sleep. Sometimes she would give me no reaction, and I did this for at least a year, and it really helped her. Of course, I don't know if you're comfortable in doing that with your friend, but she is definitely going to have to see a professional. 101%, she's going to have to see a professional and get help for what's happening in her life.
All right. So everyone who's asking where will we get the recording, you can write to the support ID mentioned on the invite, and that recording can be shared with you. Right? I think one more question on afternoon nap, but you've already answered, so I'll quickly move on to the next one. As per your study, is it good to use relaxing music before getting into sleep mode?
Yes, it's very nice to use relaxing music, but after you've gone to sleep, if you have to go somewhere and access to put the music off, then it's a really bad idea because you're again going to have to wake up, go there, put it off. No. If you're hearing it on earphones, especially if you're hearing it on your AirPods, really bad idea because in the thought of relaxing yourself, you're literally intoxicating yourself even more. So if it's easy, you can just put on it on the phone and keep it on your side table, and all you need to do is turn and just tap something to switch it off. Fantastic. Even reading is a fantastic habit if you have your night lamp right at the side of you, and it's easy. You have to make it so easy. All you need to do is tap it to switch it off. Then it's fantastic. Relaxing music, maybe about 15 minutes before you go to sleep, really helps stimulate your body to tone down. It also creates a sense of visualization. I have experienced it myself. Of course, in my case, I literally have to get up and go and switch things off. So I realized, okay, I'll just try something where I don't have to wake myself up again, yeah, if I'm trying to put myself off to sleep. If it's easy and accessible, please go ahead and do it. It's really nice. Also, the same can be done when you wake up. When you wake up, you can start your morning with some nice relaxing music. A lot of older people like to start their morning with old Hindi songs. It just brings in some energy. So music is always therapeutic in nature. It depends on what kind of music you're accessing.
Thank you for that. I think one follow-up question for a recommendation you had given on 30 minutes of sunlight exposure. Does it have to be direct sunlight as it's too hot right now?
Yeah, see, the question is also there and the excuse is also there in the question, right? It is hot, of course. That's why I said 30 minutes and not 3 hours. In 30 minutes, I can assure you, you are not going to turn into ash. You're just going to get heated up. You're going to, you might be worried about your complexion. I'm always worried
Right.
about my complexion. But you access a park, okay, walk in a park, take shade and sunlight continuously, and it's just an excuse. I mean, it's too hot, it's too warm, it's too polluted. 30 minutes nothing happens, but your body definitely gets tired, it starts sweating, and tanning also does not happen in 30 minutes. It's long exposure of sun, then you start tanning off.
All
I'm
right.
not telling you to go on the terrace and stand under the sun for 30 minutes. It's nice to go to a park and just walk around on your terrace, just simply walk around. So you're literally tiring your body in the morning, basically.
Hmm. Yes, I think we have a minute for the last question. Do you suggest smartwatches to track sleep habits?
No, I hate smartwatches. I'm sorry if you're a fan of it. I hate smartwatches is because it has made us so stressed about how many steps I have counted, how much kilos I have lost, how many calories I have burned, how much sleep I have had. Oh my God, these numbers are important if you are running for some kind of competition. Okay, on a daily basis, you don't need to track these numbers. You simply need to follow a regular, sensible lifestyle, and all the numbers automatically take care of themselves. So the tracker close to you just causes unnecessary stress and anxiety. Use good old analog watches. I'm a huge fan of analog watches. It is used only to show you date and time. That's it. That's the use of watch. Keep it to that use. For the rest of everything, you have your mobile phone. When you're going for a walk and run, you can track yourself for that 1 hour, how many kilometers you have run, how much calories you have lost, and that much tracking is more than enough. You don't need to track and count every minute and performance.
All right. I think we do have quite a few questions. Maybe, if you want to share your credentials, Ms. Shalini, you can do that. People can reach out to you to ask any further information if they'd like, or I can forward these to you, where you
Yes.
could ask the recording. maybe ask for Shalini's coordinates if you would like to reach out to her one-on-one and have a discussion with her. Unfortunately, owing to our time being up, we won't be able to take further questions. I would like to again express my heartfelt gratitude. Thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your knowledge with us, and thank you for everyone who participated, sat through the entire hour, and understood how we can improve our health, because it starts with this as a first step. Wanting to change. Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a lovely evening and a weekend ahead. Thank you. Take care of yourself. Bye.